Throughout history, armies have always used cutting-edge technology in wars. They've moved from swords and spears to tanks and fighter jets to gain an advantage over their opponents. For this video, I wanted to find answers to two main questions. Number one, how do countries use AI in wars today? And number two, what will future wars look like? Will we see robots replacing human soldiers on the battlefield? Let's jump in and find out. AI already plays a significant role in various military applications. While researching, I encountered several instances where military forces used AI in warfare. One example is Project Maven, an AI tool that employs computer algorithms to analyze drone video footage. Military forces utilized this tool for operations against ISIS in 2017. It simply identified and tracked people, vehicles, and other objects in video from Scan Eagle drones used by special operators. Another instance is the assassination of Iran's top nuclear scientist on November 27, 2020. A New York Times article from September 18, 2021 mentions that an AI-assisted machine gun was involved in the attack. However, the article lacks detailed information on the AI's role and offers no evidence to support the claim. It only states that the gun was autonomous and appeared to have a high degree of remote control. Military forces may have used AI for target identification or tracking. Still, without more information, I cannot say for sure. In the ongoing Ukraine-Russia war, Clearview AI gave Ukraine free access to its facial recognition software. The CEO of Clearview AI listed potential applications in an open letter, such as identifying infiltrators and deceased individuals, fighting misinformation, and reuniting separate refugee families.
After the end of the active phase of combat, the parties must exchange the bodies of dead military. But they have to try to identify the dead men first. This is where the Ministry of Digital Transformation comes in. They do it by using a myriad of techniques, but the most effective has been facial recognition technology. They upload a picture of a face, the technology scrubs all the social networks. Once they have a match, they go one step further. We send messages to their friends and relatives.
Another example involves the US-based company Primer, which captured, transcribed, and translated a radio call between Russian soldiers in Ukraine using their AI tool. Vostok, I'm Snack 02. On the highway we have to turn left, one of the soldiers says in Russian, using code names meaning East and Snow 02. Got it, no need to move further. Switch to defense. Over, another response. Later, a third soldier tries to make contact with another code named South 95. Yak 95, do you have contact with a senior? Warn him on the highway artillery fire. On the highway artillery fire. Don't go by column. Move carefully. The third Russian soldier continues, increasingly agitated. Get on the radio. Tell me your situation and the artillery location. Approximately what weapon they're firing. Later, the third soldier speaks again. Name your square. Yak 95, answer my questions. Name the name of your square. However, neither the Wired article nor Primer's website suggests that Ukraine also uses Primer's tool. Lastly, drones are a common use case for AI in military applications. While not all drones employ AI or advanced technology, some are fully automated. One such weapon, the Switchblade 300, has been a dependable system for Ukrainians in the ongoing conflict. However, it's important to note that as far as I know, Switchblade does not currently use AI tools. On a side note, in the case of the Switchblade 300, the company behind it is publicly traded in the US. Interestingly, their website features an investment calculator. So if you had invested in the company before Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, you would have seen a 65% return by now. However, some individuals may consider it ethically questionable to invest in such companies because their products facilitate or contribute to harmful or destructive actions, such as taking human lives. The increasing use of AI in warfare could significantly shift the balance of power among nations. As countries invest in AI-driven weapons, they might gain an advantage over their rivals, potentially sparking an arms race. So an arms race refers to a competition between two or more nations to develop and accumulate military weapons and technology to achieve a military edge. China is one country that heavily focuses on military AI applications. Paul Shary, a renowned military commentator and author of 2 books on AI wars, believes that data is critical in determining which country achieves AI superiority. In the book 4 Battlegrounds, Shary examines the competition for data and AI between China and the United States. He notes that while the US maintains its lead in talent, research and technology, China is quickly catching up. Moreover, Shary highlights China's advantages, such as the Chinese Communist Party's active monitoring of citizens' digital profiles and facial recognition technology in cities. China has fewer legal constraints and privacy concerns than other countries, such as the United States, surrounding citizen privacy matters, providing them with more data to train their AI systems. Paul Shary worries that the US might fall behind in the data and AI race if it becomes complacent. Furthermore, the Chinese government heavily controls its tech companies, which are crucial in developing AI systems. In contrast, the US government must establish strong partnerships with the tech sector, including startups. However, this is challenging since major tech corporations like Amazon, Apple, Meta, and Google operate independently and are not entirely under government control. As we have explored in this video, the military already uses AI, and it has the potential to change the nature of war in fundamental ways. However, the future of warfare with AI is still uncertain. It will depend on various factors, including the development of AI technology, the decisions of military commanders and policymakers, and the outcome of international negotiations on arms control. Arms control involves managing weapons development and usage, including limiting a country's weapons, regulating weapon use during the war, and restricting access to certain weapons technology. Arms control measures can be legally binding or achieved through cooperation without formal agreements. Successful arms control requires coordination and trust among nations, which can be difficult during times of conflict. Different countries might hesitate to agree to monitoring and verification measures due to transparency, revealing potential vulnerabilities. The future of AI warfare may involve AI-enabled cyber attacks, such as impersonation and spear phishing attacks, and not necessarily Terminators walking around. So, for example, an attacker could use impersonation techniques to pose as a trusted military official to gain access to confidential military intelligence. Spear phishing attacks, on the other hand, are a more targeted form of phishing attack. So the attacker sends an email or message that appears to come from a trusted source, such as a colleague or a company the victim does business with, to trick them into giving away sensitive information or performing a harmful action. So spear phishing attacks are more difficult to detect because they are tailored to the victim, making them more convincing. So, for example, the attacker could use tailored messages to target specific individuals within a military organization, such as high-level officers or IT staff, to gain access to sensitive information or compromise critical military systems. Cyber attacks using these techniques can have serious national security implications, potentially compromising sensitive information, disrupting military operations, or causing physical harm. As a result, militaries and defense organizations must be vigilant in their cybersecurity efforts, training personnel to recognize and respond to phishing attempts, and implementing strong authentication and access controls for critical systems. So another aspect of future AI warfare is space-based warfare. So space-based warfare can be defensive or offensive, protecting military satellites or using space-based weapons to attack enemy satellites.
Today, space is essential not only to our way of life, it's absolutely critical to the modern way of war. GPS, ATMs, cell phones, gas pumps, traffic lights, power grids, guided missiles. surveillance, RPAs, ground combat control. There's no such thing as a day without space operations. You just don't see them. Earth is only half the battle. Cyber attacks and jamming of our satellites. Microsatellites that can create a debris field. At 17,000 miles an hour, a piece of metal the size of a coin can be weaponized. Now is the time for...
So in conclusion, while the future of warfare with AI is uncertain, it's clear that the AI's rise in warfare has the potential to change the way wars are fought fundamentally.